Can you apply GED fractions and decimals to real-world problems? Have you ever wondered how fractions and decimals fit into everyday life? If you are preparing for the General Educational Development Test, knowing how to use these concepts is essential. Understanding fractions and decimals is not just about passing a test. It is about solving real-world problems. Fractions representing parts of a whole. For example, 1/4 means 1 part out of for equal parts. Decimals are another way to express these parts, like 0.2541/4. Converting between these forms is important for comparing quantities and making calculations simpler. In daily life, you will encounter fractions and decimals in many situations. For instance, managing money requires these skills. When you calculate prices, make change, or understand discounts, you are using decimals and fractions. If a store offers a 25% discount, you need to know how to calculate that discount to find the sale price. Cooking is another area where fractions and decimals come into play. If you want to adjust a recipe for a different number of servings, you may need to multiply or divide fractions. For example, if a recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of sugar and you want to make half the recipe, you would need to calculate 1/2 of 3/4. Shopping also involves these concepts. When comparing unit prices, you often work with decimals. If you have a coupon that offers a discount, you might need to subtract a fractional amount from the total price. Time and distance measurements often use decimals as well. For example, if you travel 1.5 hours to reach a destination, you are using decimals to express that time. Similarly, if you measure a distance of 3.75 miles, decimals help communicate that information clearly. When dining out, splitting a bill among friends is another practical application. If the total bill is $60 and you want to divide it by 4 people, you would use fractions to ensure everyone pays their fair share. Understanding fuel and gas usage also involves fractions and decimals. Knowing how much fuel is left in a tank, such as 1/8 full, and calculating costs based on that information requires these skills. The General Educational Development Test includes problems that mimic these real-life scenarios. You may be asked to find the total cost of items with decimal prices or convert a decimal to a fraction to better understand proportions. Learning to work with fractions and decimals also means grasping related concepts. For example, knowing how to find common denominators helps when adding or subtracting fractions. Understanding place value is essential for aligning decimals correctly. Additionally, converting decimals to percentages is useful for understanding discounts and interest rates. Mastering fractions and decimals through general educational development preparation equips you with practical math skills that apply directly to daily life. These skills help you manage money, measure ingredients, interpret data, and solve problems efficiently. So yes, you can definitely apply GED fractions and decimals to real-world problems.